Everyone in Ijibu called him Baba Ekun, the poor old man who swept the market every morning for coins nobody bothered to pick up. He wore the same faded brown agbada for as long as anyone could remember. Children laughed at him. Traders shooed him away from their stalls like he was bad luck standing too close to good money. Nobody knew his real name. Nobody asked. To them, he was simply the poorest man in the market. Until the morning everything changed, and by then, it was already too late for some of them. I need to tell you what happened 3 months ago, because none of us in that market will ever forget it, and some of us will never forgive ourselves for how we treated him. His name, the name we only learned later, was Otumba Adewale. But to understand why that name matters, you have to understand what he used to be. 40 years ago, before any of us were born or old enough to remember, Otumba Adewale was the wealthiest importer in the entire state. Ships, warehouses, a name spoken with respect in every trading hall from Lagos to Kano. But wealth like that, gathered too fast, always asks a price eventually. And the price he paid was everything. His business collapsed overnight after a betrayal so deep he never spoke of it again. He walked away from the ruins of his empire and disappeared into the ordinary crowd, choosing to become nothing, to see who in this world would treat a poor man with dignity, and who would not. For 15 years, he swept that market floor, watching, testing, remembering every face. Mama Beezy, who sold pepper 3 stalls down, was the only one who ever gave him food without being asked. Every single morning, rain or dry season, she set aside a small plate of rice before the market even opened, and left it quietly by his usual spot under the mango tree. She never made a show of it. She never asked for anything back. Everyone else? They mocked him, stepped over him, chased him from their doorways when business was slow, blaming his presence for their bad luck. The morning everything changed started like any other. A convoy of black SUVs rolled into the market. Official, government-plated, security men in dark suits stepping out first. Everyone froze. Big men like that didn't come to a market like ours unless something serious was happening. Then the door of the middle SUV opened, and Baba Ekun stepped out, except he wasn't wearing the faded brown agbada anymore. He wore white, trimmed in gold, and beside him stood 2 lawyers holding thick leather folders. The market went completely silent. Traders who had shooed him away days earlier stood frozen, mouths open, unable to process what their eyes were showing them. He walked, slowly, deliberately, to the center of the market, to the exact spot where he used to sweep for coins, and he spoke for the first time in 15 years in a voice that carried authority none of them had ever heard from him before. 15 years ago, I came here with nothing, to learn something money could never teach me. I wanted to know who among you has a heart, and who only has eyes for what they can gain from you. He turned first toward Mama Beezy's stall. You fed a stranger with nothing to give you in return, every single day, for 15 years. Today, this market belongs to you. His lawyer stepped forward and handed her a folder, the deed to the entire market complex, transferred into her name that morning. Then he turned toward the traders who had mocked him. And to the rest of you, I have purchased every stall in this market. Effective today, rent triples for anyone who cannot remember how to treat a poor man like a human being. Some traders fell to their knees, begging, suddenly remembering every unkind word, every door slammed in his face. But Otumba Adewale simply raised his hand. I am not angry. I am not here for revenge. I am here to remind you of something you forgot the moment you decided poverty meant a person deserved less respect than wealth. He looked directly at the traders who had mocked him the longest. The next poor man who walks past your stall, you will not know if he is truly poor, or if he is only testing you, the way I tested this market for 15 years. Treat him well anyway. That is the only lesson I came to teach. He got back into the SUV and left as quietly as he had arrived. Mama Beezy still runs her pepper stall today, except now she owns the roof over every other trader's head too, exactly the way her simple kindness deserved. And every single morning since that day, without exception, every stall in that market sets aside a plate of food by the mango tree, not because they know who will come, but because none of them are willing to risk finding out the hard way, twice.